Gido asked what your motivations for travel was, what your motivations were, and I agree with every one of those motivations. I agree with Gido as well. I found myself in finding others, basically. After I left school, I became a tour guide. I was a paid backpacker for about 2 to 3 years. I was traveling around the country as a tour guide, a tour coordinator, and I handled the logistics for a travel show. My job was to find places around the country that were beautiful, unique, and that were not yet established or featured. Now, this is actually pretty easy to do in the Philippines because ask anybody what places you want to go to in the Philippines and they'll probably say the same things. Boracay, Palawan, Cebu, Davao, Bohol, Davao. I said Davao. But usually it stops at the 5. Now there's Batanes, yes. And people don't usually think of the places in between or away from that, from those 5 places. Simply because they don't hear as much about those destinations. But we have 81 provinces in the Philippines, and we're limiting everybody to 5 to 10 provinces. In the time that I spent traveling around the country for work, my best experiences were when I connected with the local communities. I talked to the government, yeah. I talked to the tour operators, yeah. But my favorite experiences were when I talked to the manong by the roadside, talked to the tricycle driver and asked him, after a long day's work, where do you go? Where do you go with your family to relax? Do you know of a place that hasn't been promoted, but you love because it's in your own backyard? People live in those destinations that we deem as our vacation houses, our vacation places. It's somebody's home, and nobody knows their home better than whoever lives there, right? So the way that I travel, I treat it like I'm visiting somebody's house. I treat it with respect, and I ask them to talk about it. And then I explore with them. Because I wouldn't go into your room, right, without your permission. So, yeah, it basically comes down to that. And it's been an amazing 3 years. Before we started FlipTrip, my favorite memories were like hiking for a week in the rainforests, just with the indigenous people. We actually ended up on, like, randomly, because we were in one village. The chieftain from another village said, hey, I just made a new path, a new trail going to my village. It's super close. You should check it out too. It's on the way home. But we didn't realize that it took us 3 hours to get to the first village in the first place by car and by a 3-hour hike. We didn't realize that on the way home was like another 3 hours by car, but 7 hours by hike. So like we were really deep into the forest. And I loved it. I was so tired, but there was this manong. He's the chief of the Malos tribe, and he would stop every now and then and say, "This is where I watched the battle from World War II. This is the spot where I stole a rifle from a soldier, from an American from World War II." And then when we got to his house, he said, "This is the rifle I stole from the American from World War II." And I was like, what? But like these are like genuine stories, genuine experiences. And that's more exotic, but it can also be as simple as I went to a village and somebody invited me into their home and said, "This is our specialty. I want you to try it. I cooked it this morning." The best experiences are really when you talk to people and try to learn about how they live. That's how you find yourself. you take yourself out of your familiar environment, take yourself out of your comfort zone, and live for just a moment in somebody else's shoes, and respect that life that they lead. I actually had a conversation with Brian the other day. I was like, Brian, what are your things to do when you go into a new place? And he was like, one, I have to ask a local, like, what's his favorite spot? Because a local's favorite spot is not always what you see online. Two, I want to go to the market, find out what their products are, and try a local dish the way that they would eat it, not how a restaurant would make it appealing to not how a restaurant would think is appealing to us. We had about 10, but I don't remember everything. But for me, like, I love that, because it's really so. It's about getting to know the people, because a place is a destination is unique. Yes, because they have a great, beautiful mountain with this amazing view, because they have a white sand beach. But guess what? Your experience is not complete, or is not perfect, or great if the locals don't take care of it for you or for themselves. It's their home and they're sharing it with you. Treat it as such. Learn about it. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me, because this is Muni is about mindful living. When you translate that to travel, it's about responsible travel. If you Google it, you'll get so many guidelines. Leave no trace, and maybe 10 to 20 item list. That's usually, you'll always find that online, but it really comes down to that. Valuing somebody else's home like it would be your friend's home, and learning about the way that they live. That's what we do. That's what we do with FlipTrip. That's what we try to espouse. That's why when you go on our site, the people that you see connected on our site. Okay, so I forgot to introduce. FlipTrip is an online travel platform where you can see the services of people who give you tours, accommodation, and transportation. And you can create your own travel package according to what you want to need and book everything in one go. What's special to me about FlipTrip is that we focus on the smaller players, local businesses, the manongs and kuyas who lend their boat out for tours, for island hopping, or the manong who lives in that village and takes people hiking up the mountain or to the waterfall because that's where he lives anyway. We connect those people. We gave them a system to connect them online, even though they might not have a lot of experience online, maybe Facebook. Usually that's about it. So we try to recreate these experiences that we've had by connecting you guys to the people that we've met and we've already evaluated to be able to give you that same sort of experience. People who are eager to share their home, people who are eager to share their stories, because the story is, at the end of the day, stories make everything better. Imagine, that's why it's my favorite. That tour in Romblon was the best experience of my life. It was because of that manong who kept on telling me where he stopped to do what. I could trace his path through World War II. Or now you hear about Hannah's stories about how she smoked opium in India. Okay, how she did. There was opium and there was India. So see, that's what stuck. But see, every one of us, we have great stories to tell because of our experiences with the locals in those places. And I hope that when you go out and explore, you'll keep that in mind. You become a responsible traveler by visiting a home, treating it like a home, and by listening and interacting with the people who actually live there. That's about it.